twin brother and his family, Doids and Ahava Love, who came all the way here from Israel. And I'd like to ask my brother to say a few words.
Thank you, Barak. I'm very proud of you. Wow. Can you hear me out there? Wonderful. The rabbi is raising his hand all the way from the back. Thank you, Rabbi Gross, for hosting us. I want to start by recognizing my parents, my father and mother, who really made it possible for us to know and be close with our grandparents. And this allows me to take you back 20, 25 years and open a window to the man whose name is on the ambulance. My grandfather, our grandfather, Harry Mustasher. What we really appreciate is that my parents sent us to New York to vacation with my grandparents as we were growing up. And we all have grandparents, and we all remember the smells and the stories and the presence of our grandparents. The highlight for our family, for Barak, myself, and our sister Donna growing up, was going to shul with our grandparents. We went to the Young Israel of Forest Hills in New York. My grandfather, who survived World War II with my grandmother, was injured some 75 years ago. Would get up real early in the morning to get dressed. It took him a longer time to get dressed. And then he would start out to shul, a long way to shul. He would limp on his way to shul. And then my brother and I would get out to catch up with him. We'd pass the elementary school, the Little League field. We'd get to Yellowstone Boulevard, to the big brick building that was the Young Israel. And of course we were there because this is where my grandparents could show us off. We were the grandchildren. We actually represented the fact our grandparents survived the Holocaust. And then we'd come back every year, but I remember one year we came back, and as we did this long walk to shul, we came up to the synagogue, and there in front of the shul was a gleaming, brand new white ambulance. Not unlike this ambulance that we see right here. We didn't know what it was. And very quickly we found out, my brother and I, we were about 11, 12 years old, we found out from the other children, this was an ambulance donated to the community, to the Young Israel Forest Hills. We were upstairs, Shachris, the Torah reading, and then it happened. We heard walkie-talkies going off in this Orthodox synagogue. We'd never seen anything like it. Men got up, took their talesim off. They had these walkie-talkies with them on Shabbat. And they started running outside the synagogue. We asked what was happening. And then we understood these men were working for Hatzalah, and they were running to save lives. Of course, my grandfather called it Hatzula. We were mesmerized. We ran after them, and we saw them streaming down the stairs. They were like heroes to us. I remember I wanted to drive an ambulance like this and save lives. We later learned this Hatzalah service, saving lives for the community of the Young Israel, was so effective. Even though Hatzalah was dedicated to saving Jewish lives, the word got out that they got there faster than any other ambulance. So Gentiles, when they needed an emergency, they'd call the Hatzalah. And we were very proud of the fact that Hatzalah saved everyone's life. Well, to make a long story short, I think we really appreciated what my grandfather appreciated all those years ago. That vehicle, saving lives, really represented more than a vehicle for saving lives. Really, when we saw this ambulance, really we understood that our community was protected. We were a community, we were one family, and we had protection. Now this ambulance right here, is going off to Israel. Israel is 1 million families, but really one large family that is protected. And I want to share with you about my grandfather. I want to share with you that 6 years ago, at the age of 90, my grandfather made Aliyah to Israel. Who makes Aliyah at the age of 90? Who makes Aliyah at the age of 90? I asked my grandfather. And he said, I want you to know, when I was a boy, I was in Cheder, in Poland. I had two dreams. One was to make money to give my mother. And two, the second dream was to come to Eretz HaKodesh. My mother didn't make it, Holocaust. But now I can fulfill my second dream and make it to Israel. I want to recognize my grandfather, who made Aliyah just months after the second war in Lebanon and came to live in Israel. I want to recognize my twin brother, who really gave my grandfather so much honor and respect in his life. My grandfather was so proud of you, Barak, all these years. And today is the Shloshim for our grandfather. It's 30 days since he passed. And I'd like just to acknowledge in the sentence, the pasuk that's going to be on this ambulance. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu, l'chaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Keep us, protect us, guard us, our going out, our coming in, for peace, for life, for now, and forever. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Eyal, for those words, and I'd like to thank again everybody for coming here from near and far. Next, I would like to call on Stanley Black. By the way, you asked who makes Aliyah at age 90, and Emeretz Hashem should be so fortunate to live long enough, and maybe Stanley Black and Jonah Goldrich you'd consider making Aliyah. But you still got another 20 years. So with that, I'd like to call up first Stanley Black and then Jonah Goldrich to please move.